I'm in E13 on the bottom row. I've been in 5 different cells. I've been at the top, the middle, and the bottom. There's 3 rows. But I've been in the bottom row for about 60 days.
I was hallucinating. I was thinking not good thoughts while I was in a jail cell.
Did you know that many people in Washington state jails are arrested for actions related to their mental health, traumatic brain injury, or other developmental disability? Once they are booked, their stay before receiving any evaluation or treatment can be for as many as 174 days. That's 174 days in an 8 by 10-foot jail cell. And if the inmate breaks any rules while in jail, things like resisting medications, refusing to dress appropriately, or even clean their cell, as most people experiencing a mental health crisis do, they're put into even more restrictive environments known as isolation cells, where they often spiral further and further into their illness.
We've had to essentially take over our maximum security unit, and probably nearly half of that is people who are suffering from mental health issues and can't cohabitate in general population units. It just is an ever-escalating situation.
The reason that people are waiting in jail is because they are stuck in line waiting to have competency evaluations or treatment to restore them to competency.
Those services are provided by a trained mental health professional that's employed by the state.
That professional determines whether or not a person is competent to stand trial. So, for example, they determine whether or not the person is able to understand the charges against them and if they're able to actually effectively participate in their defense.
If they are found competent, they can proceed to trial, or if they are found not competent, then they can receive treatment to restore competency so that they can go to trial afterward.
The problem is that there just aren't enough evaluators or beds to get people out of the jail and get them the services that they need.
For the past 15 years, people from all sides of this issue have come together to try to find a solution. That includes police officers, prosecutors, judges, defense attorneys, and the loved ones of those who are locked up.
They all have the same message. We need more resources to get people with mental illness out of the criminal justice system. People shouldn't have to spend months in jail waiting for these services.
People feel completely lost and alone, and they know their family members are being abused because of the misunderstandings around mental illness. When you're trapped in a little cell, your blood's not flowing, you're not thinking straight.
Year after year, the state has tried to cut corners and cut costs, while paying court-ordered fines up to $500 a day per person to lock people that are sick and in need of treatment behind bars. A class action lawsuit was filed against the State Department of Social and Health Services, and on March 16th, the parties went to trial.
Plaintiffs' counsel argued that it's unconstitutional for the state to prolong the detention of people with mental illness in jail simply because there aren't enough resources to meet their needs.
On April 2nd, 2015, the court gave its order. Siding with the plaintiffs, the judge ordered the state to provide all competency services within 7 days.
Judge Marcia Peckman is pulling no punches. She says the state has 9 months to get the wait times for competency services down to 7 days.
A 7-day waiting period before we can do evaluations instead of the months that many times we had been waiting before.
Judge Peckman wrote that people with mental illness, quote, are deserving of the protections of the Constitution that our forefathers so carefully crafted. The Constitution is a guarantee to all people and is not dependent upon a price tag. The state must honor its obligations under the law.
The state is just out of time and excuses. The court has spoken. The court has recognized that there's a constitutional emergency causing harm to vulnerable people who need services for their mental illness, and it's time to fix it.
The amount of power the state has to address this issue is in stark contrast to the powerlessness felt by the class members who are spending prolonged periods of time in jail and their family members who are trying to do everything they can to help them. The court called for the state to use its power to fix this problem as soon as possible.
The solution is here. It's the state's turn to fix the delays. The clock is ticking. Don't ignore the court. Speakers in order of appearance. K.R. A.B. versus DSHS named plaintiff. Tommy Manning, former pretrial detainee. Narrator. Emily Cooper, attorney at Disability Rights Washington. Teresa Becker, Thurston County Inmate Services Sergeant. Christopher Carney, attorney at Carney Gillespie Isett. Anita Kandawal, attorney at Public Defender Association. LaRon Baker, attorney at American Civil Liberties Union of Washington. Marilyn Roberts Hardy, mother of K.R. David Carlson, attorney at Disability Rights Washington. Austin Jenkins, Olympia correspondent via KUOW. Representative Ross Hunter, Washington State House of Representatives. Copyright 2015, Disability Rights Washington.